Would America be America without her Negro people? Once we were rivers, but is this the last of us? Gone the mean barracoon, gone the deep, wide rivers of us. No more roosters or pickled pig's feet, no more Aretha or respect. Is this the last of us? Our African less African and gone, our tap less Bojangles, Hines and gone, gone the deep, wide rivers of us, and gone too our faith and fidelity in the Betsy Ross stitch. And Martin, was he the last of us? And Malcolm, Harriet, Barbara Jordan, all gone. Who remains to pray for the deep, wide rivers of us? Gone our song and its shadow, gone the tongue of the gullah, gone the deep, wide rivers of us. Is this the last of us? You can't really believe that. You've been seeing the last of us for a long time come. Come first, the black women and their people, Amina of Zaria, Anna de Souza Nzinga, Nande. Then come the transatlantic traders sailing from Luanda, Malembo, Sierra Leone, landing Grenada, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, landing the Carolinas, Virginia, New York. Come then the black men, running, running. Too many slave named like my great-great-great-grandfather George, Fred Douglass. This is not too old a story. See Emmett Till, Harry Moore, 4 dead girls in an Alabama church. Some say just a few bad rogues, but today's cops, just like yesterday's patty rollers, shot Stephon Clark, shot Danny Ray Thomas, shot Antoine Rose II, shot Deontay Yarber, all of them unarmed. And all of this in the year of whose Lord, 2018. So we fight. We fight for the last of us, even fight each other, Ale Boumier. But then we hear the kora, the talking drum, the balafon and the marimba. And Josephine Baker heard them, and Jacob Lawrence heard them, and Toni Morrison heard them, and Jesse Owens, running, heard the drums that turned the Arthur Ashe racket into a drum, the diplomacy of Ralph Bunche into a drum, the demand of Ida B. Wells into a drum. Like Basquiat's obnoxious liberals was a drum, like Harriet Powers' quilting was a drum, like a LeBron James dunk is a drum, and didn't Father Curry preach in the Church of England like a drum those lords and ladies had never heard before? So they know, as you know, there will never be a last of us. We come like rivers.
Extra. The drought is always, and we from here see ourselves each one a hustler inside. How many times did it take to get my head get cracked? 1, 5, 9? 9 to get my skull get cracked, to have in common a common need, a sameness to make it through. I became a factory, and the product is, whether I steal to live, or live to steal, or steal to stall, to make it through. Make it through. We see ourselves each one the same petty thief inside, returning things for cash that we quick and stoically clipped from the scene of the woe. I could be stealing these words and telling them back to you, selling them back to you. You won't ever know. This is more than trying not to be hungry. This is stick and move. This is pick and roll. This is how not to get eaten. This is how not to get beat. We find pretty. All you that live like so got some to keep you warm, but we find pretty in Kool-Aid cloud mashed into nappy rug. In grease on walls, on grease on funk, on grease, you could flick off into dimes and stick like that. We find pretty in every drunk knew your dad, can you help me out? coming through and smile, smile, smile. There's piss on the steps at the school where your baby's mom is. We find pretty in that funk too. Marva. We ain't never talk about Marva. Sister's dead far as grandma know. But her ghost like to walk back to school and drag the grass for blunts to suck. Lids don't barely catch her eyes, and she don't never look where she want. Mama tell church folk she took herself, but she too gone for that. And ain't enough soul left over for them Bible folk to pray on. But before she got smoked and left out her head, she was care for me. She was care for me. Covenant. Them ancient women sit and weigh bitters against what the Lord has brought and settle that it ain't all of it been blood washed away that's nasty. The vestibule never stay gleam neither. The shut-ins been fed and offerings been took end to end. Would expect deserve look back at fruition. But nobody there bold enough to say it, whoever seen haughty greet up. And Sundays catch the wrong folk now, teeth and Kemp, but no love, who smite smile the wretched in faith, stove up from the blessed weight of his body on their backs. And they beat down now, wrapped around a ladies' missionary project quilt, loose from the secret liquor, ha, and cranky from the haze of a covenant blunt. The intercessions was swore loud and mixed better with the whiskey. Time was they had someone to pray to, who called himself constantly abiding, and they had proof to believe it. Immigrant. I know. I didn't steal away in the ungodly hours, huddled behind the dumpster of my kindergarten class at midnight, with a pocket full of peppermints my mother gave me to keep my mind on my tongue instead of the trip. I wasn't dumb to the rules of whatever ball the children kicked and threw, unable to know where to go with my feet, my hands, my awkward self, with a pocket full of peppermints my mother gave me to keep my mind on my tongue instead of my oops. I never hid from the mail, strained my eyes looking for dad or granddad or uncle through blacked out photos and lined out testimonies and official looking books with a child's head full of hope my mother gave me to keep my mind on the positive instead of my loss. My hell was a hurricane of fists put to the geek boy. My life was the bruised and pulpy eye of it. My trip was a lip to where Chewy was hiding, waiting to take me home to his mama and the cookies she made me, to keep my mind on my tongue instead of my hurt, where he would keep saying again and again to his family, Él es lo mismo que nosotros. Él es lo mismo que nosotros. He's the same as us. He's the same as us. Marcella had new clothes on the last time, because her lips had seams and her eyelids were painted shut. And the Reverend sang the sisters out their seat loud as hell amen, but nobody woke. And then they wept like they knew her and watched her grow up from skinny pimples and smile, amen. There were 2 bullets in her head and she never let on. She would never comb her hair like that. And then we lined up for the last look, so I craved cherry Jolly Ranchers stuck in them big pickles, like every day after school in 9th grade. And when she giggled at me and said, "Catch me, white boy. You ain't fast as me. Catch me, white boy." This is my prayer. Pray to be a heavyweight. I'm going to change my name to Pound for Pound or Ford Sugar Ford, Langston, Giovanni Brown. Amen. All those names are taken. I wore spit off my dome from the mouth of dumb, of low-fat chocolate milk school bean lunch dumb. And smell it. Web your fingers with that dumb spit from the mouth of dumb and head of dumb onto the nape of sad. But if I say it soft, yeah, I'll say it soft. Yeah, every day I hurt and say it soft like that.